Hi guys, welcome back. Today I am going to be water glassing some of my extra eggs. I wanted to take you along and show you how we do this. If you have not heard of water glassing before, this is an old-fashioned preservation method for fresh eggs. And once you have your eggs in your lime solution, these eggs will store for 12 to 18 months. And they're a shelf-stable version of a whole fresh egg, and whenever these are taken out, rinsed off, you can fry these, scramble them just like a regular fresh egg. So this is a really cool way to preserve your eggs in the springtime when you have plenty of extra, and put them on the shelf and then use them in the wintertime when your chickens are taking a break from laying as much. So let's go into what all you're going to need to do this. The most important thing is that you're going to need farm fresh eggs. You cannot do this with store-bought eggs. You're going to need farm fresh eggs that have not been washed. If you wash these eggs before you do this, it will not work. So these are unwashed. These are 3 days old or less. And they are, I'm only going to be using these super clean ones. So the reason why it's important that these are not washed is because when the hen, and also we're not using anything dirty like that. We will sort through all of these, but when the hen lays an egg, she puts a protective coating around the shell, and that bloom is going to be important to help us in this process. You're also going to need a container to put your eggs in. I have a glass jar here, but you could use a plastic food grade bucket. Whatever you use needs to have a nice sturdy sealing lid. You're going to need a scale so that you can measure your lime. You are also going to need, if you use any type of tap water or city water, you're going to want to have some distilled water to do this with. If you are using well water, then you would not have to do the distilled water. You could just use well water. I'm going to need something to stir my lime into my water with. And of course, I'm going to need this pickling lime. I'm using Mrs. Wages. You can get this at just about any store when it's canning season, or you can order off of Amazon. You're also going to need a measuring cup, or not a measuring cup, just a spoon, or like this, a little something to measure out your lime with. And you're also going to need a quart size jar, if I didn't mention that yet, because our measurements for this are going to be 1 ounce of lime for every quart. So I'm going to fill this quart jar up with water and add 1 ounce of lime to it. So that is our very basic recipe is 1 quart to 1 ounce of lime. Okay, so I have my distilled water filled up here. Put that into this quart jar, filled it up to the line, and to this is where I'm going to be adding my pickling lime, and I'm going to weigh that out. So in case I don't think I mentioned earlier, but we do need a bowl also to weigh our lime in. So I'm just going to get my scale started, and then so what I'm going to be doing is let my scale get woke up. Then I'm going to put a bowl on here that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to zero it out. And then we're going to slowly add our lime until we get to 1 ounce. So this is a really great way, like I said before, it's a great way to preserve your eggs. I really think this is a better way to preserve your eggs over dehydrating or freezing, because in either one of those methods, the texture of the egg tends to change a little bit. Especially with freezing, I've noticed that the white of the egg gets kind of chewy, and then of course with dehydrated eggs, that's just going to turn in, your only option with that is, I'm using eggs a certain way, whereas this is you can crack the egg open and use it any way you would like. So I'm just getting this to exactly 1 ounce here, which we've gotten now. And then I'm going to be adding this to my quart of distilled water, and we're going to stir that up. Just having a little bit of a hard time getting this poured in here without spilling it everywhere. So once we get that into our water, we're going to stir that and get it mixed in really well. We don't want to lose any of that lime because we were going for exactly 1 ounce of that, so every little bit counts. So we're going to get that stirred up really well. There's a little bit of lime actually sitting on the rim here. We're going to try to get that put back into the jar so we don't lose that. Okay, and then I want to switch my little stir around to the other side because it has quite a bit of lime on the other side of it there. We'll stir that part of it in too, so nothing is going to waste there, so our measurements stay exact. Okay, and once I feel like I've really got that stirred up and mixed in well, then we are going to be going and sorting through our eggs to decide which ones are going to be good candidates for water glassing next. So to my jar, and you can do this either way, you can either add the water to the jar and then add the eggs, or you can add the eggs first. I like to add the eggs first so I'm not dropping them in the water and taking a chance on them cracking them. It's also the other reason why I like using a big extra wide mouth container like this, is because I can get my hand in and really stack my eggs in there gently. And I am going through every egg and I'm looking at it and making sure it is totally spotless. Like I said, only spotlessly clean eggs are going to be used in this. The rest of those will just get washed and eaten. So you also do not want to use any eggs that have any cracks in them. That would be a definite no-go. And the reason why we're not going to use anything that has any type of dirt or anything on the eggs is because that would be adding in bacteria. So that one has a little speck on it there. We're going to put that one to the side. This one also, this white one, it's dirty, so we're not going to use that one. And we'll just continue on. This one is nice and spotless clean. We'll add that one in here. A jar this size will usually hold about 12.5 dozen eggs, whereas a quart jar would hold, I don't know, probably 9 or 10 eggs. Okay, so here is a really important one. This one right here has a blemish. It's not dirty, but it has a, that other one had a spot where the shell did not look very strong, and I don't want to put that in there either. We want to only put our best looking eggs in there. So I'm just going to continue to sort through all of this. It is sort of a tedious process, but it's worth it, and we'll just keep going here and see how many we have. So I don't know if I said this earlier either, but what the lime solution does is the lime helps seal off all of the pores that are in the eggs, and it is sealing it off and protecting the eggs from any germs or any bacteria or anything that could make these eggs go bad faster. It's just sealing them off, and that's what keeps them fresh. That's why it's important to not have any cracks. If you have any cracks, the lime water could get in, as well as other things could get in as well. And just trying to see if these are just colorings on the egg, or if it's like a blemish, like a soft spot where there's not enough calcium built up on the shells. So I'm just going to continue on here. But eggs have many pores when you look at them very closely. So this natural bloom that the hen has already put on them is its nature's way of protecting the egg to begin with. And then, so that bloom, that's why we're using very fresh eggs, is so that bloom has not had any time to start to break down or wear off of these eggs. So that's these eggs' first line of defense, is the bloom. And then while that bloom is nice and fresh and coating and sealing off all of those pores, we're also going to be adding this lime solution to it, which is going to further seal off the pores, really sealing in the freshness of these eggs. So whenever, once these are sitting on your shelf, you may wonder how you would know if they were bad or if one wasn't good, and you would definitely know by a few things. Either one, you would see if one busts, pops, or cracks in there, you would know because there'd be a lot of stuff floating around in your water. If you took them out to eat them, eggs basically tell on themselves. Like, there's not really a lot of guessing on whether an egg is still good or not. When you crack your egg and you smell it, if it doesn't smell like anything, it is still good. It's going to be good to eat. If it did not work, if your lime solution did not work, or if something went wrong, you would know when you crack that egg. It would be very stinky. It would be very strange smelling. So what I usually do, just like with any farm fresh egg, is I crack one at a time into a bowl and check them one at a time. I never, either with this or with a farm fresh egg, I do not crack multiple eggs into one bowl. I always crack one egg at a time, just in case there's a bad one. It doesn't ruin all the other ones that I've already cracked. So I have it full, and now I'm going to be adding my lime water here. And the main thing I want to make sure that I want to be able to do is the last egg, the ones that are on the top, they have to be fully submerged in this solution. And so I'm going to keep adding this here. In Houston, we have a problem. My quart didn't quite cover my eggs. I'm going to see if I can move it around here and just sort of rearrange it so that it will be covered, but it is not. So I'm just going to have to mix up another quart to 1 ounce of lime solution, and then top this off, because no matter which way I try to move these around, I just need a little bit more water. So the good thing about this is, so you can definitely do not want that part peeking up, because that part will go bad and it will make the rest of your batch go bad. But once I have this other quart jar already mixed up, that'll work out fine anyway, because I actually have more eggs that I could have water glassed. So I'll just add them to this quart jar, and it all will be well. Alright, so I'm topping that off. I'm just making sure now we are good to go. There is no questioning. That is well above the last eggs not showing anymore, and all we have left to do is seal this off with the lid. And then this other jar, I'm not going to waste that. I am going to go ahead and I went and got a wide mouth jar though. I put the rest of my fresh eggs in it, and I'm going to go ahead and fill that up, and we will seal both of these off. And so I got extra eggs, more than what I was even planning on doing. So the water does look cloudy right now, but eventually this will settle. The top part of the water will be clear. There will be lime settled into the bottom of it, and that so right now, while it is cloudy, it will not always look cloudy like that. Eventually, as you saw at the beginning of the video, your water will look clear in the top, and then you'll have a lime solution on your eggs and settled in the bottom. Don't forget to write your date on the bottom, on the lids or somewhere on your container, so that you do not forget what day you did this. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you have a blessed day.